piece of jewelry. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be pointing at ourselves whenever they're happy. So oh, that's so nice. Oh, really? You grew up here? Oh, it must have been so amazing. And we're going to be drawing all that attention. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be, oh, that sounded like me. I don't know what happened there. So we're going to be drawing their attention to us in a positive way, so that we start to emphasize that connection, that emotional connection, so that they see us as somebody positive. So then the question becomes, okay, well, what do we talk about? Like realistically, you know, just making small talk about, you know, the Stanley Cup finals or, you know, the Blue Jays or whatever, it's not really helpful. So what do we talk about? And the technique that I use, I call form. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to ask them questions about their family, their kids, where they grew up, getting them talking about things that are important to them, so that we can get an idea. And keep in mind that this is all intended to gather information so that later on we can demonstrate to them that we're just like them. We've got a family. You know, the area that we grew up in has changed a lot. We're really positive. Everything is good, so that we're really a lot like them. And that's how we're going to get them to feel comfortable with us, so that we can get a better price, or at least get a fair consideration in a multiple offer situation. And again, whenever they're talking, we're going to be pointing, oh, really? Oh, you did that? Oh, you grew up here? Oh, your kids are doing that? Oh, your kids are involved in that? Oh, that's so nice. We're going to keep on pointing at ourselves, specifically at our heart, so that we can draw their attention and all that positive energy towards us. The next step in the form strategy is occupation. So ask about their occupation, and then regardless of what they say, you know, ask them what inspired you to become that. So if somebody says, well, I'm a teacher, well, what inspired you to become a teacher? And let them talk, so that they, and as best you can, you know, get them talking positive. If they say, you know, I'm a teacher and I hate it, well, you know, then you want to redirect the conversation. You don't want them talking about something that's negative, but give them an opportunity to talk about things that they enjoy. What is it about that occupation that you enjoy? What is it that, you know, is fun for you? And they might say, well, I hate the job, but I really like the people. Oh, really? Well, what is it about the people that you really like? And get them talking about that. Oh yeah, I like the people that I work with. It's so much fun going into work when we get to go and work with people we like working with. Get them engaged in the conversation so that it's all positive. And again, we're going to direct it at ourselves. And then ask them about what they enjoy doing. What recreational activities do they do? So, you know, do they play hockey? Do they have a hobby? What do they do that they enjoy? Now, if they've got kids, quite often they'll talk about what the kids do and how they enjoy taking the kids to the soccer games or taking the kids to the hockey games. So let them talk about that. And again, we're going to participate. And all the while we're gathering information. We want to make mental notes of everything that they say. And then, of course, motivation. What are they passionate about? And this gets back, remember, for those of you that have sat through my little 5 minutes here in the past, one of the questions I said that you really want to get answered is, what's most important to you in your life right now? Well, their answer to that question is going to tell you about their passions. So we want to get them talking about what they're really passionate about. What do they really enjoy? So if they're talking about, you know, how they enjoy watching hockey, but what they really enjoy is when their friends come over and they get to make a whole bunch of stuff, and they make the chicken wings from scratch, and they do the nachos, and they do this, and listen to them and get excited, because then we're going to use that information. And then all this information is used in order to create a personal connection. That's really what it's all about. Because if we have that personal connection, there's a greater chance that we're going to get a better deal, because they like us, they feel comfortable with us. And I gave you 2 examples. I can give you more. Like, there's a lot of other examples in lots of different situations where people have gotten better deals, or maybe even you can think of an example where you've given somebody a better deal simply because you like them. And that's what we're doing. So we want to use all that information. Does anybody have any questions at all about anything we chatted about today when dealing with multiple offers?
Rory, can you give us an example, please?
Another example? Well, I can give you another example from the school I went to. A friend of mine is a senior vice president with an investment company, and he was looking for a person to be an assistant. So he was very specific about what he was looking for, the education and the background. They had to have a master's degree. They had to have a certified financial analyst designation. They had to have 5 years worth of work experience. So he told me that he got over 200 applications. And he said, funnily enough, one person was from the university that I went to in Montreal. So I said, interview him. And my friend said, he's not qualified. He doesn't have the number of years experience. He doesn't even have an MBA. So I said, just for the sake of experience, interview him. He's just a young guy, just interview him. So my friend called me a couple of weeks later and said he hired that guy. And so I thought he didn't have the experience. He said, I can teach him those skills. I just felt good. We got along really well. So that young guy would never, ever have gotten an opportunity like that had he not just by chance had a connection with me through the school. I didn't know who he was. We just happened to go to the same school in Montreal. So I think you're going to see that this type of stuff happens all the time. Now, if you're in a multiple offer situation, it's really important to differentiate yourself from the competition. And mostly the competition is going to be focused on price. But if you're focused on the emotional side of the equation, it gives you a shot in order to be considered. So you don't have to be the number one. All you have to be is close. And then you've got a shot. And really, I think in situations like this, you just want a shot at it. So what you want to do is you want to, as best you can, identify the emotions that are important to that person and then feed those emotions back to them. Does that make sense? Any other questions? If you're interested, every other Thursday during the summer and every Thursday during the rest of the year, we do topics, 2-hour topics on different subjects. Coming up on the 22nd, we're going to talk about how to turn on your brain for learning and the myth of learning disabilities. This is straight sales skills, by the way, because a teacher is a salesperson. So if a teacher is trying to sell ideas to a student and the student's not getting it, they have to overcome those objections, just like we would in the sales environment. So it's the same skills, only applied in the education context, but you would understanding those skills will help you in your sales. On August 5th, we're going to talk about money and the law of attraction. And at the end of the day, money is just energy. Understanding how to make money flow. And that's why some people you have two people start the same business in the same community. One makes lots of money and one doesn't. It's all about the energy. So we're going to talk about that on August 5th. And on the 19th, we're going to start looking at meditation and meditative conditioning so that you can learn how to access those power centers of your mind. If you're interested, there's my email address, rory@positivestrategies.com. Send me a note and I'll add you to our mailing list. If you ever want to get off it, it's no big deal. You can just cancel anytime. Doesn't cost anything, obviously. But if you want to find out what we're doing, what we have coming up, send me a note and I'll put it in the chat box so that you have it. And I'll add you to the mailing list so you can keep up to date on what we're doing. So I hope you found this, short 5-10 minutes helpful. And best of luck with all your multiple offer situations. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Rory. We appreciate it. And we're going to be continuing with our next guest speaker. Once we have Rory take his, I think I need to share the screen. Okay, share screen. All right, we're going to bring our next guest speaker, a very special friend. And as mentioned last meeting that I wish I had known this gentleman a long time ago. And trust me, please listen to these people we bring as guest speaker. They're the experts. And there's another blessing here for you all have. Again, an honor to have Jerry with us today. And he's going to enlighten us. Please listen to these experts very, very carefully, though. The reason why I'm saying that, and you'll be surprised when I'm going to say why we should be listening. Jerry, are you on the line, my friend?
I'm here, Nav.
It's all yours now.
All right. Thank you very much, Nav. Again, thanks a lot for including me on your session here today, and welcome everybody. I know you've asked me to speak about TFSAs, and I'm actually quite excited to talk about that. Not so much that TFSAs are an exciting topic, but TFSAs have now increased in contribution limit. I'll explain that. Have now become useful tools in our investment strategies. So let's just start with some basic TFSA basics. TFSA is what we call a registered account. So whenever we have money, we either put it in what we call open accounts, which are just investment accounts, money you have in the bank, or we have a registered account. And in simple terms, a registered account really means that we need a third party as an administrator. And we call that third party a trustee. So the most common registered accounts that we all know of are RSPs, LIRAs, locked-in retirement accounts, registered education savings accounts, and TFSAs. So in our world, we call those registered accounts. We need a third-party trustee to administer what activities happen in those accounts. Now, when TFSAs first came out, they first came out in 2009. We as accountants, it didn't really excite anybody. The first time they came out, it was a $5,000 contribution, the maximum that you could put in, and it was a tax-free savings account. And we thought, that's interesting. Really no advantage for the government. They're kind of losing any gain that happens in that account. It was a very small amount, $5,000. So got to be honest, nobody really paid a whole lot of attention to it. And then each year since 2009, they increased the contribution limits. So they went another 5,000 the year after. So the contributions accumulate. So after the second year, we could put in $10,000. After the third year, we could put in $15,000. Still, it really wasn't high on our radar list. Today, we can put up to $75,500 into a TFSA. So now it's caught our attention. And whatever we don't put in one year carries forward to the following year. Okay, so if we haven't put any money into a TFSA ever, then we could put in $75,500 into a TFSA. Okay, so that's become very interesting. Now, a TFSA, again, tax-free savings account. That's really all I need to say to describe it. You put money into there and there's no tax on any gain that you create. Okay, there's no deduction. Okay, when we compare a TFSA, let's say with an RSP, we get a tax deduction going in and we pay tax going out. A TFSA, we get no tax deduction going in and we pay no tax going out. Okay, so it's not really something to reduce our taxable income that we would say use an RSP for, but it is something that we can put investments in and we pay no tax. Now that's a cool thing. Again, it really hasn't been on our radar for a number of years until recently. Now, when we talk about TFSAs in my world, there's two things we can do with them. One, we can just literally put an investment in there. And again, it's tax-free. We don't pay any tax on it. But the other thing that we can do with TFSAs is strategize. Okay, we can create investment strategies now with these TFSAs. And that's kind of the cool and exciting thing. And again, over the last 2 or 3 or 4 years, it's kind of hit our radar that we can, hey, now the number is high enough. Because again, if the TFSAs back when they were limited to like $20,000, there's not a whole lot we can do with that. 75 grand, we can start doing stuff with that. Now, what can we put into a TFSA? Remember, a TFSA itself is not an investment product. Okay, an RSP is not an investment product. A LIRA, locked-in retirement account, it is not an investment product. An RESP is not an investment product. A TFSA is not an investment product. These are just bags to hold investment products in, vehicles to hold investment products in, folders, just a thing to hold your investment products in. So what investment products can we put into a TFSA? Okay, there are government rules and regulations about the things that we can and cannot hold inside of a TFSA. So just to keep the logic simple, let's say the government allows us to put in 10 different investment products, product 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The trustee that is administering anybody's TFSA has a choice. They can allow all of those 10 products to be put into the TFSA, or they can just say, we're going to allow 2 of the products, 3 of the products. Okay, so the trustee can restrict what you put into the products. The trustee cannot allow you to hold products outside of the 10 products that the government has approved. Okay, so the trustee can only put in government approved investment products and cannot go beyond that, but they can restrict what goes in it. So for example, we're all real estate investors. Okay, again, TFSAs have hit my radar screen as far as mortgages. Okay, now try going to your bank if you have a TFSA at the bank and say, I'd like to hold a mortgage inside of my TFSA. Okay, they're going to say, we don't do that. Okay, because they choose not to facilitate that. Okay, most banks will not facilitate holding a mortgage inside of an RSP. You are allowed. Mortgage is a mortgage is an investment product that can go inside the bag being the RSP, the LIRA, the TFSA, the RESP. Okay, so we're all real estate investors, and you know, mortgage lending is a great investment tool. Now, I just love what Nav is doing as far as getting people together and creating his joint ventures, because now all of a sudden these TFSAs can be useful. We can create investment strategies with them. For example, let's just say Nav needs $500,000. Okay, you can get 10 people with $50,000 each in their TFSAs, and you can create a joint venture with that. Okay, inside of the TFSA, you can hold a mortgage. Okay, and you could do it as mortgage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the property. You can do it as a syndicated mortgage. So where there's one mortgage and all of you register your TFSAs against it. It is a fantastic tool. Okay, plus there's no interest. There's no tax on the income you earn. Okay, so you could use your mortgage, you could use your TFSA, and let's just say Nav has a joint venture where he needs a bunch of people to come together. You could even charge a low interest rate. You could, let's say 1%. Okay, so now you're lending the money to the joint venture for 1%, and let's say the bulk of the gain or the income that you're hoping to receive with the joint venture is at the end of the project. It's either a flip, okay? We all know Nav Lake's flipping properties. So you get in, you use that money, you register it as a mortgage, even at 1%, but you participate in the profit. Okay, that profit goes back. It can be structured inside the TFSA, that profit goes back into the TFSA, and you pay no tax. Okay, so you can only contribute $75,500 to a TFSA, but you could have $1 million inside of a TFSA if it has grown that much. Okay, you can only put in the 75.5, but if that 75.5 triples, quadruples times 5, now your TFSA is a big number, and that's all good. There's no tax. You could take the entire amount out. You pay 0 tax. So it's a fantastic tool, especially when you start joint venturing with people. So, you know, again, we use it now that these things are on our radar. We like creating these investment structures. A lot of times you can flip a house and only need 50, 60 grand. As a down payment or something, or just as the equity to make it work. So again, we're up to 75.5. Both spouses can have one. Okay, so now we're up to $151,000 that as a household you can contribute into a joint venture. You can bring child 1, child 2 into it. You can actually contribute quite a lot of money through these TFSAs. And the more creative people like myself, people like Nav get using this TFSAs, so far the government really has left us alone. They haven't really put a lot of restrictions and obstacles in our way as far as using these TFSAs. And the contribution limits will go up. So, you know, it won't be too long we can put $100,000 into a TFSA. The key is finding a trustee. Okay, again, these type of investment products require a third-party trustee to administer them. The third-party trustee, all they're really doing is making sure that the TFSA is in compliance with all the CRA rules and regulations. It is the third-party trustee that issues the tax slips. It is the third-party trustee that issues you your statement. So the third-party trustee is really the administrative function of the TFSA. So we got to find one that will let us do all this creative stuff inside of a TFSA. You can X out the banks. They don't want anything to do with that, because the minute you're starting to talk to them about holding a mortgage inside of a TFSA, inside of a LIRA, inside of an RSP, they're going to lose their beloved mutual funds, because if you have mutual funds in your TFSA or LIRA or RSP, you're going to move your money from the mutual fund into the mortgage that you're going to hold inside of your plan. So needless to say, the banks want nothing to do with these type of creative strategies. The most popular trustees that we use, and I'm sure NAV uses them too, Olympia Trust probably tops the list. Community Trust here in Mississauga, they're an active trustee that is very helpful. The Community Trust was actually created by a bunch of land developers, so they get the whole real estate business. They're good. Olympia Trust is good. Pacific Western is another one. So those are the three most common ones here. There are other ones. A trustee is a trustee is a trustee. There's really, there's not one that's a whole lot better than the other. What you're really trying to find is a trustee that will facilitate what you're trying to do. Okay, that's the key. You got a business plan in mind, and the trustee has to work with that. So again, the contribution, just kind of summarize it up. The contribution limits are now, we can put up to 75.5. They accumulate. So if you didn't put it in last year, you can put it in this year. You're not getting any tax deduction. Okay, going in, you don't pay any tax going out. It's also allowed us, TFSAs have allowed us to do some really cool, creative stuff like we always try to make mortgage interest tax deductible. There's a way that we can use your house, your RSP, and a TFSA to convert all the money inside of your RSP and move it over to a TFSA. And it's kind of cool. I'm not going to go into a deep dive, but here's just the quick and simple of that strategy. So if you had a house, just keep the logic simple. You had no mortgage on the house, and your house is worth $200,000. Okay, so you take a mortgage on it. So and let's say you have money inside of the RSP. Okay, so we're going to use the RSP money to lend ourselves a mortgage against our house. And let's say we have a TFSA. We're going to use the TFSA to lend ourselves money against our house. Now we have two mortgages on that house. The TFSA, we're going to charge ourselves like 15%. We want a lot of growth. We want a lot of rate of return in that TFSA because there's no tax. We keep the first mortgage very low, 1%, 2%. Now, what do we do with that money? We invest it into what? Into any investment product we want to. We can invest it into a joint venture that NAV might have. We can invest it into a mortgage. Now, by doing so, the money that we take out of it becomes tax deductible. So I don't want to make it overly complicated, but what I'm trying to say here is we can take money out and then we can offset it with a deduction. So the net is zero. Okay, so it doesn't cost us anything. And we can, by doing so, we can transfer all the RSP from the RSP into the TFSA. It's a kind of a complicated thing. I'm just giving you the bare bones basic just to kind of show you that these TFSAs can be used in very, very creative ways to build a lot of wealth. It's also a very good tool for estate planning purposes, which I don't want to go into a deep dive, but again, there's a lot of tax savings by using TFSAs now, given the limits that have increased. So that's just touching on it. Again, Nav, it's a great topic that you asked me to talk about because it's on everybody's radar, and it's because you can now use your TFSAs to get involved in creative strategies that people like NAV put together. And again, it really helps when you have a number of people involved, because again, if you are one person being able to put 75.5 into a joint venture, if there's 3 or 4 other like-minded people, away you go. There's the money. Nav can put it all together for you, and any profits that you're making goes back into the TFSA, and you pay zero tax. So it's a pretty cool thing, and especially if we get a little creative with it. So I'll leave it at that, Nav, unless anybody has any questions, but certainly look into these TFSAs, explore them a little deeper. We're starting to see a lot of different options that are available with these type of vehicles.
Great. Thanks, Jerry. Thank you once again. CanadianInvestmentServices.ca. This is Jerry's website. By the way, he had now a new service offering regular training. Please go to CanadianInvestmentServices.ca, or you can call him directly. You will be happy you did. You can at least subscribe to the newsletter to begin with, and it's going to be very helpful for you. Jerry, thank you very much. We'll see you next on August 14th.
Great. Thank you, Nav. I
Thank you
appreciate
once
it.
again. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
everybody. Have a
All
good
right, sir. And now we're going to bring in our next guest speaker. I hope he is here. My brother from another mother.
Hi, Navtash. How's it going?
Good, my friend. How are you, sir? Where are you, first of all, to begin with?
Well, I'm in my backyard. I cannot see myself, so I don't know what you're looking at. But I mean, I guess it's me in a hat, I assume.
Yes. We see you being in the sunshine, but most probably sitting in the backyard. We can see a fence and some other houses.
Yeah, I was going to go to the beach, but I thought, I'll wait till we finish the call before I go to the beach.
All right.
But
So
Navtash,
go ahead,
the house across the street is still for sale. So
how much?
I don't know when they're $850.
Oh, not bad.
4-bedroom, about 2,500 square feet, 2-car garage. Nice house.
Brand new?
Brand new.
Okay. Please text me when you finish this conversation.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop by this weekend then.
It'll be nice finally to live next to my brother from another mother.
Absolutely. It'll be a pleasure. It'll be, again, an honor, my friend.
Right. Okay. Thanks so much for having me. So there's a couple of things that we agreed I would touch on. One of them is 100% financing on new construction. So a lot of people say, look, you know what? I bought a condo or I bought a brand new house a few years ago. The value's gone up considerably. So why can't I get 100% financing? Well, you can. First of all, most banks are not going to lend based on the current value when they close the purchase. I remember a number of years ago, I said to, somebody who was mentoring me when I first got into the business, I said, why not? He said, well, I think it has to do with something to do with the Bank Act. So a bank is always going to lend, or usually going to lend based on the purchase price, even if the value's gone up considerably, which means you're restricted to 80 or 90 or 95%, depending on the purchase price, and so on. So somebody came to me. So I knew that there was a lender out there who did it. And I've recently found out there's more than one lender. They're both alternative lenders. They're V lenders. So they do charge a little bit higher rates. But I just got somebody who's closing, expecting to close later this month. And we got them a mortgage. And this was the right mortgage. They're self-employed, and we qualified them on their bank statements rather than tax returns. Which is, one of the other benefits for self-employed when dealing with the B lenders or the alternative lenders. And so we got the money. It was under 3%. Lender charges a 1% fee as well, but that's only at the time you take out the mortgage. You can also take a 2 or 3 year term, 1, 2, 3 year term, or even longer sometimes. But most of these lenders are doing short-term money. And when you renew at the end of the year, it's not like you have to pay a big fee again, right? Like, these are institutional lenders. So they're happy if you stick around as long as you've been making your payments. They are happy if you stick around. They may charge a few $100s typically for renewal. So yes, so it is possible to get 100%. And I did get somebody a commitment for 100% of what they paid. And I understand that it's even possible to go above 100%. So that's the point number one. So the next thing I wanted to mention, because I think it's a good follow-up to our conversation last month, we were talking about these TD collateral charges. And I think, Nav, you may have asked me, would I ever go for one? Do I ever see any benefit? And it's funny. I think I said at the time, I said, probably not. I wouldn't normally recommend it. Well, wouldn't you know, the next day, we were actually looking at a similar scenario with the one I was just describing, where somebody bought a place and it's gone up in value. And somebody had advised to me that if you take out a mortgage with TD, with the collateral charge, you can refinance it immediately after closing to take out all of your equity if the value has gone up. And if you do it using the collateral charge, you don't have to incur new legal fees. You can just go right back to them and apply for an increase. And as long as you qualify based on income, then you can get the increase. So TD collateral charge, there's at least one useful scenario for the TD collateral charge. Maybe I'll stop to see if there's any questions at this time. Okay. Should
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
Please feel free to ask directly to David Grossman. Otherwise, the best thing to do is give him a call, 416-876-2031. Rock Your Mortgages. rockyourmortgage.ca is the website. I know this gentleman for a very long time. And if you have any questions, concerns about any mortgage, whether it's a refinancing, first mortgage, or you bought a new condo, you want to finance 100% or new house you bought a couple of years ago, all the possible ways of getting the deal done, legally, morally, ethically correct. Please talk to David Grossman at 416-876-2031. And we will be seeing David next month again. Please feel free to call him anytime. And I'll make him work on the weekend for you. How's that for a change?
Hi, David.
Yes.
I had a question, and it's regarding, I know you mentioned refinancing.
Yes.
This chip reverse mortgage, how does it work? And is it something you would recommend for someone? I know I think it's 55 and up.
Yes. Yeah. Who's asking the question? Just out of
It's
curiosity.
Bertha, sorry.
Bertha, hi. How are you, Bertha?
It's
Great to hear
Bertha
from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very good question, and I'll tell you that I think that people have a lot of worries and concerns and fears about the reverse mortgage. I was just working on one right now where I thought we had a person's problem totally solved. I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of this person's situation, but I thought it would be a really good solution. And, we got them the mortgage, and we rushed and we were ready to pay out the existing a bank mortgage with a reverse mortgage. Yes, the rate is higher, but the banks are not lending to seniors, they're not lending to retired people. This is a woman, she had significant equity in her property, and she just could not get any more money out of the bank, and they were hounding her to renew, and finally she did. And this was after we got it. And people just have, I think, a lot of unfounded concerns. And I told her, and I'll say this it first of all depends on the situation. But I said to her in our very first conversation, I said, because she was, oh no, I don't want the reverse mortgage. I said, if you were my mother, I would tell you that I thought this was a very good solution for you because of what she wanted to do. She didn't have the cash flow. She had the equity. She wants to travel, maybe buy a condo in somewhere, on a vacation somewhere hot, Florida, wherever. And she put it on hold, but maybe she'll come around still. So every situation is different. Thank you very much for asking. If you call me or if you know anyone that needs help, we want to find the right solution for each person for their needs.
Okay.
Does that
so
answer
much.
your question?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank
Thank you, David. Thank you so much for your time. I know that you're on the back here. Enjoy the rest of the beautiful day. And we're going to continue further. We'll look forward to see you on August 14th.
See you then.
Thank you once again, my friend. Now we're going to
Thank you.
continue with our
Bye.
stuff. We're not going to take a break. We're going to spend a lot more time. David Memo will not be here today, unfortunately. Got 3 young kids and his wife. I'm sure he wants to enjoy this beautiful day. And he's one of those real estate professional. But we're going to just go through a little bit of figures, what's happening in the market. If you look at this little thing, I'm going to walk you through very quickly in a few seconds. The sales are up compared to last year. Last year, we had about 8,600. This year is about 11,000. The sales are comparatively up compared to last year, but for the last 3 months, not the same. Look at the prices. Last year, at the same time, the prices were about 930. Now it's about 1 million and about 90,000. That's a fairly large gain. It's approximately $140,000. If you look at it, the next thing we're going to show you what's happening in the market, what is taking place. Again, detached houses in Toronto have slowed down. Actually, as a matter of fact, the value have dropped by $11,000. Where semis are doing good, townhouses are doing great, by the way. This might be a little adjustment because of the summer or so on. We are going to have another realtor give us all the information about it as we go through. Moving forward, the next thing I'd like to share with you year by year, if you notice that very carefully, that sales are up, the active listings are kind of down because last year we had about 14,000 houses for sale. This year, right now, about 11,300 houses.
I'm gonna put.
And also, we have our average house is taking about 17 days to sell compared to last year. But again, just to give you a bit of an idea. And this is something else you need to understand what will happen in 2020, where we were. And the house price in January was about 840. And if you look at 2021, and this is what we are happening right now, the prices were January was 966, now about 1,090,000. Again, this information can be obtained directly from your realtors. Realtor will be more than happy to help you out. And make sure when you are buying any piece of property, get a lot of information from realtors in writing. And they're a lot more capable of giving you a lot of information. You'll be able to make a very intelligent decision based upon information provided to you. In case you really want to know what was an average house in 1975 or 60, it's about 60,000 bucks. And you look at all the figures where we have been from the last 45 years or 46 years to be exact, the appreciation has been quite strong for the last 15 years. You know, by default, everybody's making money in real estate. And it's a good thing to know, and it's a solid investment. That's a personal opinion. I've been involved in business for a very long time, and it's good to have information together. Moving forward, do you have a coach? Do you really have a coach, whether it is in your personal life, financial, or everything else what you do? What does the Canadian real estate coaches do for you? They are helpful to feedback loops, fill up all the blind spot, point out things you do not know, and they can keep you accountable, keep you more confident, and provide you the peace of mind. And you don't need a second guess whether you to do it or not to do it. That's priceless.
On here.
Absolutely priceless, though.
So
Moving forward, what does the coaches do? Does it really pay off? 100%. It elevates your game, improve your life skill. And again, anybody who's very successful have more than one business coach. My question to you, do you have a business coach?
Okay, so you'll take it from the
Do you
paper.
have a business coach?
Yeah.
This person is not mute herself.
Yeah,
If you can mute yourself, Bertha, that'll be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Moving forward with this thing, basically everybody have a good coach. Do you have yours? If you don't, look into it for that, please. Make sure the coach you are going to have real estate is doing the real deal with you in the field, providing the real deal, walk you through the deal, not only that you're reading the script and getting $10 an hour. And that a lot of coaches have been doing in this business though. Moving forward with this thing, no dumb theory, just real deal, real stuff with a real coach. That's just how I sort of say. A coach can change a game. A great coach can change to your successful life. They bring discipline and accountability and peace of mind. No more second guessing, and you're able to do a lot more, and you're a lot more successful. You have a lot more time for yourself, though. That's what the coach do. Everybody have to begin right now. Excuses don't count. If you're looking for a coaching, you can give us a call and see if you are the right fit, and we might have opening for you. Either we do it only once in a year, but lately there's been a lot of pressure to put it on, and we are taking a few more people subject to approval. If we both feel there is a synergy, we may gonna consider you as a coaching student. It's not for anybody, it's for selective people only. And again, it has to be decided by both of us. Moving forward, what you should know. What you should know. Why do I say that? There are things you should know. They are gonna great benefit for you. Let's talk number one, $5,600 grants to upgrade your energy. This is available. Please make sure you take full advantage of it. If you happen to be in Edmonton and Toronto, they have different programs on top of that as well too. Please look into that. Call Property Access Clean Energy or pays for the short. Please make sure these grants, you take full advantage of it. These grants are courtesy of Canadian taxpayer, or it's your own money. All the amount, the taxes you pay, these are the benefits you have available for you. This is gonna be in for a while, and you must get energy audit first. I think it costs about $600, and that is also will be given back to you once you start implementing all the changes though. Moving forward, Stat Canada. This is something else about the good news about Canadian economy. We are already got about 82,000 new Canadians coming to this country. We are expecting approximately 368,000 this year. This is gonna further stimulate Canadian economy and perhaps also gonna create a little bit more boom or a lot more demand for housing. New immigrants who are coming to this country are a lot more educated, a lot more skilled, and they create, we call a ripple effect, and they create a lot more openings for us, and again, help to rebuild the country as well at the same time. Moving forward, luxury tax coming soon. You heard me right. Luxury tax starting January 1st, 2022. A new tax will be effective for high-end product, including your auto, pleasure boats, and private aircraft. Government said the tax will be about 10% fee on the total cost of the vehicle, or a 20% fee amount exceeding 100,000, whichever amount is smaller. So what is that going to do to us? It may gonna backfire because this is something for the rich people. Again, we will see when this thing is implemented. Before that, we have elections on the federal level. But again, this is something you should be aware of it, that the government is going to do every possible and introduce maybe new taxes to recover all the money which they have spent on us during this pandemic though. And one thing is the real estate slowing down? This thing, something we talk about it. We talked realtor, April, May, June, the sales have dropped quite a bit. And if you talk to realtor, they say the buyers are fatigued out, they're getting tired, they're making multiple offers. And number three is CMHC is relaxing the lending guidelines, which is a good news. And also single family is slowing down and shifting back to the condo again, because people are realizing we're gonna be going back to the normal, and the new normal is going to be what? A lot of jobs are gonna be again on the downtown core, larger cities, large corporations moving in, and this artificial intelligence is gonna be the new game in town, by the way. Fear of inflation. Are we gonna, is that a fact? What is happening now? There are a couple of things one should be careful if you are buying a brand new condo or a townhouse or even a house. Builders are feeling it, even though we have exceptionally low rate at 0.98% for 5-year fix. tons of people have saved over $200 billion. Builders are complaining they're not getting windows up to 4 months. And the lumber prices are still a bit hard. It's coming down, by the way. But now the builders may gonna introduce something, and they're gonna put a clause in. The extra cost of material, labor, and delay can be added up on your purchase price. Yike. Most of you will not like it if the builder adds up that cost. Let's say he decided to sell the house for you about $1 million, and then he say, oh, by the way, I'm sorry, at the end of the year, by the time house ready, oh, it can cost you an extra 50 to 100,000 more because the material was more expensive, labor has gone up, and there was a delay because of labor shortage. So just be aware of it. It might be in the works. I hope it doesn't, but in case it does, be aware of it though. Before you sign the dotted line, have it reviewed by an attorney, please. Blue Monday is the best Monday to buy. Anytime you want to buy a discounted property, Monday is the day we highly recommend for you. Emotional day, people are exhausted. They don't get seen offer on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday they start feeling it. And again, just a recommendation, just check it out and let us know how did you make it up if you got a deal done on Monday. Moving forward, interest rate, we discuss it. We will ask a question. We're going to discussing it. What would you rather deal with, a mortgage banker or a mortgage broker, and why? We're going to have this discussion during our networking break shortly, though. What skill one must have to become a successful real estate investor? If you'd like to put it in the chat box, please do so. I'm going to give you a hint. One of the best successful skill you can have is networking to build connections. If you have able to good connections, excellent. David said relationship, sorry, that's Isaac. Patience, that's David. And if you have opinion, please put in the chat box for a few seconds. There are many reasons one should develop a skill. And just a few minutes ago, Rory mentioned listening is excellent. Thank you, Beverly. There are other skills we could just use for the time being, which can be extremely helpful. Creativity, excellent. There are a lot of other things, I believe, which we can be added up. A coach, excellent, thank you. And these skills, you'll find that, hey, there's not only one skill you got to have. It's okay to have multiple. Moving forward with this thing, why real estate investors need to be going big in 2021. Again, the demand and supply is the number one answer. Rentals are going up, long-term investment, cheap money. We don't have enough housing. And I believe 2021, if you're going in any piece of property with a possibly positive cash flow, whether you're going for short-term, long-term, there are huge benefits are available for you. A great thing to be careful with is make sure you don't overextend yourself. You do not overextend yourself altogether, though. Moving forward, 3 investors to make. Is a trap. Don't get ever stressed out about investing. If you can invest now, that's okay. Don't worry about the fear of missing out. Opportunity comes and goes, so what? And make sure an intolerance for anything that lacks the great return. Make sure you have some return on your money. You don't have to invest now until you feel comfortable. Very, very important for you to understand that. Moving forward, what Canadian listeners need to know, but they often don't, that is on July 21st, there will be a half-a-day training. Make sure you get a ticket, flippingforprofit.ca. There are a lot of new techniques in the market to get really good market deals right now in the market. Wholesaling Training on July 21st. Again, this is a training coming in as we speak. Why join Real Estate Investors Club? Please ask those people who have been members since 2005, how many connections have they built? What have they learned? This is the only place where you can come in and where you can get strictly advice for real estate investing only, nothing else, nothing more though. And you need to be updating your knowledge every weekly, every monthly basis, by the way. Investment coaching, if you're looking for it, this is the number. Please give us a call. We look into it if you're the right fit for, and we can work together. There are some few wholesale deals we will be talking during the meeting available for us. There are deals available in Calgary. We have deals available in Brampton, Winnipeg, Thompson. I believe we have deals practically in Saskatchewan. We have 2 deals available in Thunder Bay. Anybody interested in those deals, we'll be talking during the networking break as well. You're very welcome to speak to a couple of our professionals at the same time. We call them superstars, and they'll be more than happy to help you out though. Go to Hawaii, pay for it in case you have referred me any business, especially if I buy a house from you. Guess what you're going for? I'm going to go away a ticket of 2 tickets. Anybody refer me a deal, upon successful closing, guess what? You're going to Hawaii. I'm going to pay for it. How many of you love to go to Hawaii? 2 tickets. Only 1 person saying yes. Me, okay, that's Dave too, Matt. Okay, let's get the deal done, my friend, together, sir. Beverly said yes, me too. Oh, Vladimir. Oh, sorry, Sebastian. Vladimir. Thank you, sir. Sebastian. Hey, me too. I said Isaac. Excellent. Salesh. Dave, too. Right on. Excellent. Well, whether you're going to go to Hawaii or whether you go to Jamaica or anywhere else, or St. Thomas, one of the best places, one of the best beaches, or you want to go to the most expensive place to shop in Switzerland. $1,000 cash away for those leads for cash rewards. Remember that we like to give away some money. Money you can spend. Why not? Even some of these people who have referred me a deal, the deal did not go through properly, but we made a small amount of money. We still want to reward you with at least $1,000 of cash. Is it a good way to build a good relationship? Sure. Thank you doesn't do it. Cash does a lot of magic. Two maths, sir. Mr. Dave, two maths. Yes, I'll give you American dollars because you can go to Hawaii, sir. I have to give you $1,000 American. Canadian dollars are good if you're vacationing in Canada, but definitely American dollar do a little bit better for you. Especially, your loved one will like it better, whether it's your kids or wife or girlfriend or the boyfriend, whatever it is. People prefer US funds when traveling abroad though. Bird dogs. Okay, we talk about bird dogs. If you refer us a deal, if you're looking for a distress owner, we are looking for distress owner more than distressed properties, by the way. If somebody need to sell, we can buy and close almost within 48 hours or sometimes 24 hours, 48 hours, 7 days, 5 days. We have the capability of closing most of the deals, provided it's from distressed seller at deeply discounted property. We can close it really fast. Now, check before you invest. Please make sure there are a lot of people out there who are offering you all kind of goodies. Check it out with the Ontario Security Commission at checkbeforeyouinvest.ca. It's just to make sure that you do not get involved in any transaction. Majority of the time, we do not recommend. Get your legal advice, get all the opinions before you sign a dotted line with anybody, especially if you are doing something with unknown company or large corporations and so on, though. Please hit a check. Regret in my life. And I say, when I meet most successful real estate investors, they all have one regret. I'm the first one to admit I have the same one. They wish they bought more real estate much, much sooner. So this is not a bad time to start. Today is a good day to invest. Today is the best day to learn first before you invest though. Coaching we talked about earlier, and I'm going to be talking to you next thing about, I want to say thank you. Before we thank you, I want to share the next meeting will be August 14th. And now we're going to have plenty of time for all of us to do something incredible. Network. So you will be divided into 2 or 3 different rooms. You're going to have about 10 to more than 10 people in each room. Make sure everybody get a chance to speak about it for at least 30 seconds. Make sure nobody's dominating. And all the conversation must relate to real estate investment only, please. Only Canadian real estate investment. If you're not doing so, the people who are monitoring it have tendency either to put you on mute or maybe ask you not to talk. So please respect that. This platform is strictly only for Canadian real estate investments, nothing else. We talk about joint ventures. You can talk about Canadian mortgages. We have the experts, we got the realtors, and we have other people who might have great opportunity for you to invest. So just bear with me, and I will be sharing with you. Give me about a minute, and we will go into separate rooms where you'll have opportunity to talk to each other. Thank you.